Alright. I guess. Welcome to Without Within. As we stare at the moving field of sunflowers and the main character's face, which reminds me of, what is it? Konata Izumi, I think, from Lucky Star. She always makes that face. Anyway. This is, I guess, a short visual novel on Steam. I think it's free too. Well, I know it's free, rather. So I don't know. And it's what is it? I think it's about calligraphy, maybe. I don't know. That's what it says in the description. But well, let's check the options. I don't know. Not much. It's a visual novel. It's probably not gonna have a lot of options. So, let's dive right in. Vinty, 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 Vinty. The chants of my fans echoed through the door in front of me. One of my two bodyguards wrapped his hand around the doorknob. Please prepare yourself, Miss Vinty. Once I open this door, we'll head straight for our limo. Oh, amazing. A limo. The guard had no reason to fret. I had long since grown used to these crowds. Still, I nodded to put him at ease. After taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. She looks different than from the title screen. A crowd of hundreds raised their cameras as soon as I stepped out. My guards waved their arms to shoo them away. The red carpet was for me to walk on, after all. I blew a kiss for these star-struck peasants. Peasants? That's mean. Miss Vinty, please, let us hurry, my bodyguard said. Too bad for him, I strutted along like a model on a catwalk. She's famous. A group of reporters managed to worm through the crowd. They now tiptoed over my guards in hopes of scoring that exclusive. Vinty, how does it feel to have won another Calligrapher of the Year award? Calligrapher, right? That's how you say it? A reporter asked me. Before I could answer, another dozen people shouted over each other, hoping for my attention. Vinty, may I get a photo with you? Can you sign some autographs for my kids? And two for me, of course. Ah, can't believe I'm standing this close to Vinty. My fans stamped their dirty shoes all over the red carpet. Finally, my bodyguards pulled out their pepper sprays to keep these fans in check. Oh no. A young male reached in my direction despite having a spray aimed at his face. Rather admirable for a peasant. Stop calling everyone peasants, Vinty. I extended a hand for this male fan to kiss. Unfortunately for him, he fainted at the sight of my perfectly polished nails. Amazing. I reached my limousine at last. My bodyguard opened the door for me. As I climbed in, my trailing fans snapped as many photos as they could. Miss Vinty, Miss Vinty, the crowd chanted as my car window pulled up. How odd. They never referred to me as Miss. Oh, my graceful presence must have been too much for their sanity. These poor things. Miss Vinty, Miss Vinty. Oh. Well, I had fun while it lasted, as I got to ride in a limousine for a good 30 seconds. In real life, my only registered vehicle was, well, my 10-year-old bicycle. My apartment had no space for a car anyway, so it was all a dream. She has that little figurine next to the window. Actually, this single room with cracked walls might be an insult to the word apartment. Pull up those curtains for a spectacular $1 view, featuring a sewage pipe and a wall tainted with yellow. Just open the window if you wish to smell the sewage as well. A breathtaking experience. By the way, sorry, I need to take back the one room thing. The place actually had 2 rooms. Thank you very much. The second room happened to be a toilet. That still counted, right? The toilet clogged 3 times a month, so be careful when using it. Miss Vinty, Miss Vinty. A woman's voice echoed from outside. She was no fan, or rather my landlady. I glanced over at my clock, 6 a.m. Waiting another hour or two would have been nice. She probably just wanted to tell me about another rent rise. Nothing good ever came out of that woman's mouth. I would be better off staying in bed. We see a little, like, I don't know, what is it? The fashion comic on the right? Bottom right? There's a choice, I guess. Let's just stay in bed. I snuggled back into my blanket. Excuse me. The landlady could knock all she wanted, but my focus was on my calligraphy dreams. I had no time for these common folk matters. Let's just stay in bed forever. Yay. A week later. Turned out the landlady was chasing me for my rent. By the time I realized, she had already evicted me. Now I live on the streets with nothing but my calligraphies. Oh no. The past few nights have been freezing cold, and I ran out of tissues to wipe my runny nose with. To make things worse, I could feel my head heating up from an upcoming fever. Might I interest you in buying one of my works? I got a 2-for-1 deal today. Well, bad end. Yeah, I think that's what I've heard what the game is about. There's a bunch of choices, but the choices just end in bad endings, I guess. Is there like a... I think there's a skip button. Let me check. It says... Skip? How you skip? Just click a lot? I don't know. I assume this is some sort of skip button. Let's actually wake up this time. Coming, as I changed into something more appropriate. The landlady still kept knocking. I said I was coming, did I not? Maybe I should walk out naked if that's what she dug. Whoa. If this were a game, he might get a sale boost too. Well, this is a game. Alright, let me save actually. Oh, well. That's the save done over the bad end. I guess a Q save and Q load. Those are like quick saves and quick loads. Good morning, Miss Vinty, the landlady said. I must ask, what's with that hair? It looks like you just woke up. That's because I did. It's a waste for young ladies like you to sleep away your youth. The landlady shook her head. She had no right to preach me like this. I wanted to tell her, but I decided against it, as doing so would give her an excuse to lecture me further. With her sighs, if I enraged her, she would squash me into Vinty-flavored pancake. Tasty. Miss Vinty, your rent was due 3 days ago. Oh, well, at least there was no rent increase. Sorry, madam. My next paycheck will come after tonight's shift, so I'll pay you first thing tomorrow morning. The landlady grunted. Alright, just know that if this keeps up, you'll have to find somewhere else to live. She spun around to leave. Once she disappeared behind the corridor, I kicked my door shut, causing a piece of my cracked wall to fall off. I tried shoving the piece back into place. My effort resulted in more wall fragments flaking off. Very cheap place. Great. The landlady will make me pay for that next month. Once I became an accomplished calligrapher, she would beg for a chance to shine my shoe. Well, that's a bit arrogant. Hey, I sounded a bit ranty before, but that was never my intention. A lot of famous people had humble beginnings. I would follow in their footsteps. But first I needed to put in the work. No. Is being famous the only thing you want, Vinty? I guess I'm just gonna click on the quick save button a lot of times just to make sure. I don't have to restart when I get a bad end or anything like that. And so I returned to the busy street in my area. With my calligraphy spread before me, I sat on the concrete and rested my back against the fence. The car horns blared behind me, mixed with people shouting things about each other's mothers. These cars kept expelling fumes that made me choke. This is one of the many things I dealt with in the name of art. Pedestrians took up almost every inch of space on the street ahead. Surely this would be the day when somebody spotted my talent. It's like, well, it's like streaming on Twitch, isn't it? Yep. As always, no one afforded me anything more than a passing glance, and my will soon dwindled. Let me be honest, I never expected to be showered with praise by every head who passed here. What was the old saying? 10% of the people you reached out to will buy your work. I could live with that. Even just 1%, please? Anything but 0? I wanted to scream at these people. They had no idea how much sweat I poured into these calligraphies. It seems like persevering is the correct choice, but let's choose the wrong thing first. Let's just rant. Let's just complain about our situation. Enough was enough. I sprang off the ground and kicked the fence behind me. The crowd stared as I ranted on and on about their ignorance. I felt so good to let loose. If these people knew how to spot real art, my career would have already kicked off. 2 days later, my eruption made its way to the internet. Guys, make sure to never buy anything from her. She's nuts. Who does she think she is? Spread the news, everyone. We need to make sure people like her, or rather people like that, never get anywhere. My career was doomed. If I knew one mistake would destroy everything, I would have kept my trap shut. How I wished I could have relived that day. Well, good thing this is a visual novel. I guess reload. I guess there's no. I don't know. Is there a skip button? Is there like a keyboard hotkey that you can press? Well, I guess it's like pretty short. It's not that long, so I guess. Well, that's the only thing you can do. You know, persevering. Just keep trying until some kind of opportunity comes up. That's all you can do in the name of art. I decided to keep these displeasures to myself. People often said patience would be rewarded. I wondered if my patience would ever become worthwhile. Just as I thought this, a man paused to look at my calligraphies. He had a bucket of fried chicken in his hand, and the smell made my mouth water. As the man eyed my works one by one, I felt my cheeks heating up from anticipation. At last, someone who spared more than a moment with my works. This must be my reward. The timing could hardly be more perfect. Really. I summoned the courage to speak with the man, but he spoke first. You're charging for these. I managed a tiny nod. Quick save. The man snorted. I would never hang these on my wall even if you gave them to me for free. Seriously, this is the most shameless display I've ever seen. Trolls online were one thing. Confronting one in real life was a rarity. Judging from the man's scrawny arms, I bet I could overpower him with ease. Then he would know just how big of a blunder he had made. You know, beat him up and take his fried chicken. Attack! I crunched up one of my calligraphies and rose. The man must have sensed my violent intent as he stepped back a step and shielded his face with a bucket of chicken. I threw a punch at him before he could flee into the crowd. My fist connected with the side of his head. That marked the first time I had ever hit someone. My knuckles hurt from the blow, but seeing the guy's drop jaw made it worthwhile. He probably grew up this way because nobody ever dared to punish him. Well, when you punch someone, Vinty, you should like clench your fists first so it doesn't hurt as much. Anyway, a couple of pedestrians popped in and held me back from attacking the man further. I squirmed against their grips but gave up as my anger waned. Once my breathing returned to normal, the civilians loosened their hold, and I brushed myself free. I'll remember this. The man fled from the train station, eating another piece of chicken. As he did so, I hoped he choked on it. The next morning, someone knocked on my door. I checked the clock, 5 a.m. When would the landlady cut me a break? Miss Vinty, it's the police. I cupped a hand over my mouth, as if keeping quiet would make the police go away. They must be here to ask about my assault yesterday. That guy I punched was nothing but talk. I should have let him ramble. God knew what would befall me now. Probably, some charges. I prayed I would at least be spared a jail sentence. Tears streaked down my cheeks as I buried myself under the blanket. This had to be nothing more than a bad dream. Another bad end. Probably some fees to pay, though. Vinty doesn't have a lot of money, I assume. Oh, can I? Actually, was it quick load? Yeah, quick load. I guess quick load and save are different for the actual, manual save. Well, let's not just beat up some random stranger we meet outside. Folks always said to ignore trolls. I clenched my teeth and stayed put. After chuckling in my face, the man strutted off. Determined to prove him wrong, I continued to sit and wait for potential customers. Another 1,000 people walked by without sparing me a look. Lingering here any longer would be a waste of time. As I packed my things, I insisted I was leaving because my part-time job started in an hour. Deep inside, I knew that man's words had rocked my confidence. Giving up on calligraphy would mean I had wasted all this time over nothing. Yet, if I lacked the gift, persevering might make things worse. Tears welled in my eyes, and I clenched my fists to hold them back. Speaking of tears, I heard a kid crying within the crowd. Looked like we had a lost child on our hands. Some pedestrians shot him glances, but none of them offered more than that. These really were horrible people. To cheer myself up, I told myself I would never want my calligraphies to be owned by people like that. I should help the kid, but that would mean being late for my job. Well, the moral thing to do is to help out the kid, but we gotta pay our bills, right? You gotta pay for the rent, so we can't miss our job. If we miss a day on our job, especially a part-time job, especially if we're not in a great relationship with our employer, it's probably a bad idea to skip a day without any warning, right? So let's not help the kid and let's just do our job. Sorry, kid. Miss Vinty had a job to go. Convincing myself that another person would help him, I headed off to work. The next morning, the kid from yesterday appeared on the news. The reporter announced he had gone missing. Guilt seized my heart and threatened to crush it. I ended up being just as selfish as the... I almost said shellfish. Shellfish? Shellfish! Anyway, selfish as the people I had criticized. A lowlife like me had no right to dream about success. I could never return to that place without being tormented by remorse. And so, my little stint as an artist came to an end. I gotta think about the people, Oh, yes. You gotta remember why you did calligraphy in the first place, and that's to help people. Maybe, I don't know. Probably. Well, let's help the kid. If I judge others for abandoning a child, then did the same myself, I would be a jerk and a hypocrite. With a sigh, I walked up to the boy. There, it's okay. Did you lose mommy? The boy was sobbing too hard to answer. I leaned in to stroke his back with one hand and his head with the other. Let me know if you lost mommy, okay? I'll help you find her. There's no need to be scared. I say mommy. Mommy or mommy? The kid managed a nod at last, and I whispered, "Good boy," into his ear. "What's your mommy's name?" Hungry. Her name is Hungry. The boy's tummy growled, and I realized what he meant. Oh, well, how about I buy you a sandwich? The kid shook his head. I want ice cream. Hey kid, ice cream is more of a dessert actually. I want ice cream. And so ice cream it was. One for him and none for me. The money came out of my pocket, of course. My poor wallet. At least this kid could have eaten the whole thing rather than let half of it melt on his shirt. Jesse, the boy said. The mommy's name. Jesse. I called as I strode along the street. Now people stared at me more than ever. Enough to make me blush, in fact. Maybe I should try just shouting Jesse at random next time I sold my calligraphies. Yes, that would definitely get attention, Vinty. The sky turned orange as time ticked by. Yes, I knew my shift. Started half an hour ago. Stop reminding me. A woman squeezed through the crowd and scurried toward us. She ran past a red light, nearly getting hit by a truck in the process. Don't jaywalk. That's risking your life. It's no good. Anyway. Mommy! The boy shook free of my hold and rushed into his mother's embrace. After muttering apologies to her son, the woman gazed toward me. "Oh, thank you so much for your help. You're wonderful, just wonderful." Well, let's save just in case. I don't know if our confrontation with Jesse will turn into anything grim. I don't know. Anyway, the torrent of praises curled my lips into a stupid grin. Anyone would have done the same thing. "Please, if there's anything I can do in return, just let me know," the mother said. "Well, actually, there's something I need help with." The mother nodded. "Anything in my power, miss?" Which way back is to the train station?" You could have also asked the mother to testify to you helping her son to your employer too, just in case, so you don't get fired. Anyway. The sky had gone dark by the time I arrived at work. I opened the restaurant door gingerly to avoid making any noise. Stealth mode switched on. They call me Ninja Vinty for a reason. Metal Gear Vinty. "Miss Vinty," the voice of my boss nearly made me jump onto the ceiling fan. Sorry I'm late." I wanted to explain, but my boss glared at me, and my tongue slurred out a bunch of syllables. My explanation was in there somewhere, probably, maybe. I received an earful from my boss, but at least I got to keep the job. Oh, good. Several colleagues shot me frowns for not being here during such a busy period. In the end, I took all the blame without complaint. Well, at one point, I locked myself inside a toilet and screamed into the bowl. Are the walls thick enough to not let others hear you do that, Vinty? I also might or might not have fantasized about dunking my workmates' heads into the toilet. Well, that was for me alone to know, though. Not the best relationship in the workplace. Well, at least I earned the paycheck needed to keep my landlady quiet for another month. As for the month after that, well, we would see when the time came. All I wanted was to pursue my art, but reality kept pressuring me toward finding a second job. Sometimes you gotta, pay for your passions with a job, You can't live your life just doing what you like, unless, of course, it pays well. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't pay well, so that's reality. On my way home, I spotted a banner for an upcoming visual novel named Princess Aria. Now this is just blatant advertising, developer. The game had long been hyped on every form I knew. Amazing art, along with a cast of famous voice actors. The writer and composer were big names too. Alright, I get it. I wonder, is it another of the... I didn't check actually. Is it a Friends visual novel, or is it simply the actual developer's other visual novel? In which case, it's a bit shameless there, But anyway. For Princess Arya to have an ad this big, there must be a lot of money put behind the project. Wink wink. The way this banner hung high gave me the sense it was extra important. Bright lights shone on the princess's face to impress potential players. Well, whatever. I don't mind. And the developer, it's their game, so they can advertise if they want. Yes, that was what I really needed. If I had a banner like that, no doubt people would line up to buy my calligraphy. I could already imagine how folks would react as I walked along the streets. Hey, I think that was Vinty. Wow, no way, you mean that famous calligrapher I see on all those banners? Well, yeah, she must be really good. Maybe we should ask for her autograph. My agent would then step in to speak on my behalf. Please line up in an orderly fashion, everyone. How much for an autograph? Shut up and take my money. The agent nodded in response. Autographs are available for $100. Thanks. Alright. That would be $100, thanks, the game shop owner said. Princess Arya cost twice what I had predicted. If I bought the game, I would have too little left for rent. I opened my wallet, hoping I might have more cash on hand than I realized. Turned out, I had less actually. $100 for a game. Sounds about right. At least where I live. Anyway. I hung my head, and the storekeeper sighed. His arched brows pressured me into buying a game. I did ride 3 trains to get here. Might as well pick up something. I told the shopkeeper how much money I had, and he shook his head. The store owner pulled out a different game from under his table. He brushed the dust on it so I could see the cover. The title read, Sunflower War. Some visual novel about the battlefield. Can love bloom on the battlefield? Copyright 1997, the bottom read. No wonder it was so cheap. Art by Invert Mouse. Whoever the heck that was. Oh, well. That's the person who made this game. Getting too meta here. The front cover would fit perfectly in a kindergarten classroom. I flipped the case to see what was highlighted on the back. The game supported up to 640 by 480 resolution. Truly, the pinnacle of technology. The shopkeeper grimaced. He must have sensed I wanted to say no. His stare made my palms stain with sweat. Mom's spaghetti. And I ended up buying the game. Dealing with folks like that had always been a weakness of mine. Remind me to never visit this store again. And that's too bad. You know, if you're gonna work in retail, you shouldn't pressure people into buying things. They should make their own decisions, you know? I don't know. Alright. With heavy strides, I returned to my apartment. 0 calligraphy sales, late for work and with rent. Topped off by blowing cash on some game I had no interest in. What I really wanted to play was Princess Arya. Is it Arya or Arya? Well, I think it's Arya. Anyway. Forcing myself to suffer anything else would just upset me further. What's the best decision? Let's play the game. I did spend money on Sunflower War. Might as well give it a go. The day left me pretty drained, so this relic of a game would do a good job putting me to sleep. I switched on my laptop and inserted the disc, which I partly hoped would fail to load from old age. Too bad, it worked just fine. No doubt a lot of people were loving Princess Arya right now, wink wink. Meanwhile, here I was, enjoying this 640 by 480 godsend. No voice acting either. These illustrations look like they were done by a child. I would be better off closing my eyes and imagining my own artworks. I guess the developers roasting themselves. The grass reached up to our knees. As I read along, I painted an image of the scene in my head. The plants rustled as we waded through. We paused once every few steps, fearing there might be a snake hiding among the bushes. Somehow we managed to survive the evening. The sun surged from beyond the horizon, outlining the earth with an orange glow. Slowly, the blue sky emerged and vanquished the darkness that had haunted us. As light bathed the soil, I found myself in a field of sunflowers. I had imagined this place to look far, far more terrifying, but anxiety had merely been playing tricks on me. I drew a deep breath to savor the morning fragrance. In the distance, birds chirped as if applauding our survival. I could see it, not only that, but touch, hear, and smell too. An experience crafted by my imagination. The image rivaled the strokes of any artist, and it belonged to me alone. This fulfillment inspired me to take things further. The blasts of the gunfire deafened us as we dove behind the wall. She has a pot on her head. A bullet whizzed past the tip of my helmet. Sam had passed this helmet on to me with her dying breath. I would carry on her legacy. The desert heat pinched sweat out from every pore. I desperately wanted to empty this water bottle down my throat, but with no help in sight, I must conserve every drop. Joe's eyes closed, this time never to reopen. Despite our promise to survive together, only I managed to live. How I wished I could take her place. How dramatic. I finished reading Sunflower War right as the clock struck 3 a.m. How so many people had missed this classic left me dumbfounded. Is it really? Actually, that would be a lie, as I too had every intention of tossing this game aside. I kept demanding excitement without offering an ounce of passion in return. If I played my part, I might be able to discover so much more. As Sunflower War's credits rolled, I realized just how small the development group was. The team probably knew they had stood no chance against the bigger studios, yet they still did their best with dated technologies to deliver a vision they believed in. Alright. The happiness they felt when working on the project poured out of every line in this game. I could gaze right into their hearts. Kokoro. The thing I had long neglected. I guess this is the right thing to do. I guess the right thing to do is to play an old game that the developer made a long time ago and probably had experience in. This is probably like first-hand experience what they're writing. Actually, he, she, I don't know the gender of the developer. So they probably have first-hand experience and putting it in this game. But well, let's save here. Let me actually return. I wanna check the other option actually before I continue. Let's rewind a bit. Let's just not play this game, right? We're not gonna play this game that the developer put in their game, a game within a game that is kind of like advertising, but at the same time, it's interesting because they kind of give their own experience of making that game, putting a message behind it and all that. But anyway. Forget it. I only bought Sunflower War out of pressure. After shoving the game into my bin, I crawled into bed. For the next few weeks, I tried over and over to sell my calligraphies, but all my works remained untouched. Well, aside from a few pedestrians who stepped on them by mistake. Well, wait, my bad. I did make one sale. This one guy said he needed my calligraphy to use as toilet paper. I had zero passion left for my calligraphy. In fact, just thinking about it fueled me with anger. It was no longer their career for me. Today, I chose to retire for good. Yeah, I guess no passion equal to just not pursuing it anymore. But let's go back to this timeline where we did play some old game and apparently felt touched by it. Now we have heart. The power of heart. Mommy, Daddy. Vinty, what is it, darling? Look, it's my calligraphy. Honey, it's calligraphy. But that's great. I think you have a lot of talent. Hey, this is so much fun. I'm gonna become a calligrapher. I had forgotten the last time I found joy in calligraphy. Every stroke these days felt like a grocery chore. All I obsessed over was how much, or rather, how little, people paid attention to my efforts. My works no longer possess heart, and I failed to notice it. Time to do something about that. I could hardly wait to start. After all, I chose this path because I loved it. Hooray. Rediscovering our passion. Why we did calligraphy in the first place. The next day, I ventured outside with a new set of calligraphies. Though I made no sales thus far, I still found myself beaming. This might explain why some people smiled back. Perhaps it was the weather, but I swore everyone felt warmer today. Mommy, there she is, the ice cream lady. A boy dragged his mother in my direction. It was that kid I helped out yesterday. Mother and I exchanged nods. Honey, the lady has a name. It's rude to call her the ice cream lady. What's her name then? Oh my, it's, well... Sorry, what is it? It's Vinty. The mother slapped her boy on the back. See, her name is Miss Vinty. Mommy, can we buy one of those doodles from the ice cream lady? Doodle must be another word for the top-of-the-line calligraphy. No other explanation would restrain me from shaking the brain out of this boy. My name was nowhere inside that little brain anyway. The mother checked her wallet, and her face scrunched up the way mine often did. All good, madam. I knew how it felt to be living on the edge of being homeless. Please, the boy nagged on. This showed why I would never have kids. The mother relented at last and bought one of my works. Guess the boy wanted to repay my kindness. I gave his hair a ruffle as thanks. After flashing his missing tooth with a grin, he pulled his mother back into the crowd. Well, at least I scored better marks than yesterday. Another man strolled toward me. Wow, I was on a roll now. With heart on my side, my fame and fortune had arrived. Clean my shoes, peasants. Hey, it's you again, the man said. Oh, the troll from yesterday. Still have chicken? I calmed my thoughts to avoid causing a scene. Maybe the guy came to apologize? Even a creep like him must know how rude he had been. Yes, my aura had cleansed him of all evil thoughts. Go on, empty your wallet at my greatness. Wow, these new scribbles are even worse than the ones you bought last time. Somehow, I had turned into an internet celebrity. Crazy Calligrapher Dubstick Remix. Top comment, damn, snap pa. Wow, she went full crazy, LOL. Triangle Muff at 007, Illuminati. She be like, why you know bahaha? Anyway. More like this might be a good time to look for that second job. Alright. I guess that's it for Without Within. Really short game, I guess. But, well, it's free as well on Steam, so I guess that's to be expected. Alright. I guess. I don't know. What else could I say? Well, I enjoyed it. It's like a short, funny experience. It's like whatever. I found it entertaining enough for the time I spent. Well, all I spent is time, so pretty what was I trying to say? I'll say valuable. It's not valuable. It's a good investment or something like that. Good value. That's what I was trying to say. It's good value for $0. Anyway, I guess that's it for Without Within. Until next time, see you then.